January 2009, Dhaka, Bangladesh. In the heart of the country's central bank, several employees receive an email that appears completely ordinary at first glance. A man named Ras El Alam is applying for a job at the central bank, and he has included a link to download his application documents. At least one staff member clicks the link and downloads the file. What no one knows at that moment, the central bank has just become the target of a sophisticated hacker attack. Within minutes of that innocent click, the attackers are already inside the bank's computer systems. But this is no run-of-the-mill theft. The hackers aren't after millions. They're after billions. And these hackers are not your average street criminals. Their digital footprints stretch all the way from the US to Sri Lanka, then the Philippines, and finally, North Korea. The job application from Ras El Alam is actually what security experts call a spear-phishing email, an email tailored specifically to trick certain victims. The link contained a dangerous piece of software, most likely a remote access Trojan, or RAT for short. This program gives cybercriminals full control over the infected computer for months, letting them spy, steal data, and even operate the computer remotely. Through this access, the hackers begin poking around the central bank's internal systems. Eventually, they find what they're looking for: a bank computer running SWIFT, the global messaging system banks use to send billions of dollars around the world every day. The invaders carefully study how SWIFT works and steal an employee's login credentials. Then, for an entire year, they wait, watching, learning, and preparing to strike. Fast forward. Friday, February 5th, 2016, 8:45 a.m. Employees in the Dhaka Central Bank notice something odd. The printer in the high-security room on the 10th floor isn't working. But this isn't just any printer. This machine prints out all SWIFT transactions. Basically, receipts for every wire transfer the bank makes. The staff don't think much of it. Printer problems are hardly rare. But the malfunction is far from random. The hackers disabled the printer the night before, deliberately blinding the staff. With the paper trail cut off, no one in the bank sees what happens next. Under cover of this sabotage, the hackers use the stolen SWIFT credentials. They send a flurry of transfer requests to the Federal Reserve Bank in New York, where the Bangladesh Central Bank has an account. Due to the time difference, it's still Thursday night in the US when New York receives 35 requests to transfer just under $1 billion in total to accounts all over the world. Transfers this big aren't unusual for the American Central Bank, but what's suspicious? So many transactions at once from Bangladesh, which almost never happens, and with lots of weird formatting issues and odd recipients. The New York Fed blocks the requests. The hackers, undeterred, simply fix the errors and send all 35 transfer requests again. The bank still finds some of the transactions suspicious and tries to contact the Bangladesh Central Bank using SWIFT. But it's nighttime in Dhaka, and with the printer still down, nobody notices the warning. By the time employees finally leave for their weekend, no one has realized what happened. It isn't until Saturday, when the printer is finally fixed, that the employees see the SWIFT transfer receipts and the Fed's follow-up questions. Only then do they realize they're victims of a massive digital heist. But the hackers have sabotaged not only the printer, but also locked the bank's direct access to the SWIFT system, making it impossible to warn New York in real time. Out of options, the frantic staff Google for contact information and send pleading emails, 3 in total. But it's Saturday in New York, and that inbox is only checked on weekdays. Every move, every moment in this attack was planned with military precision. The hackers exploited time zone differences, weekend shifts, and holiday calendars to stretch out the time before anyone would notice the money missing. A classic strategy in some of the most successful cybercrimes in recent memory. The Federal Reserve in New York is instructed to send the money to 4 accounts in Manila, Philippines, which had been set up a year before using fake identities. Why the Philippines? Because on Monday, February 8th, the country would be celebrating Chinese New Year, a public holiday, giving the crooks a 5-day head start to make the money vanish. The hackers nearly got away with $1 billion, but their plan unraveled thanks to the tiniest, strangest detail. Federal Reserve staff in New York spot a red flag. Some of the transfer requests list the address Jupiter Street. That seems harmless, but to the Fed, Jupiter is the name of an Iranian oil tanker under US sanctions. Alarm bells ring. The Fed halts 30 of the 35 transfer requests for closer inspection, but allows 5 through. Roughly $101 million is sent to different accounts. $20 million of that is routed to a Sri Lankan charity, but the hackers slip up. They misspell foundation as fandation. A bank clerk in Sri Lanka notices both the unusually large payment and the peculiar typo and stops the transfer cold. In the end, the hackers only make off with $81 million instead of almost $1 billion. The Bangladeshi central bank tries to keep news of the theft quiet, hoping they might recover the money, but the trail quickly grows cold. Investigators follow the cash. $31 million is reportedly withdrawn in Manila and given in cash. No joke, in $100 bills weighing around 300 kilograms to a Chinese national named Shu Gang, who then vanishes in a private jet. The remaining $50 million? It turns up in 2 Manila casinos, the Solaire and the Midas. Casinos are the perfect playground for laundering money. Turn criminal cash into chips, play for a while, then cash out, and the money's clean. The hackers' accomplices rent private rooms and organize marathons of baccarat, a simple and popular card game. Macau, the world's capital of gambling, also comes up in the investigations. Some of the Philippine casino operators have ties to Macau, and those funds likely make their way there. Why Macau? The city is infamous not just for its casinos, but also for its connections to North Korea. So who is behind this staggering crime? Evidence points to the Lazarus Group, a notorious outfit believed to be connected to North Korea's intelligence services, a cyber army specializing in stealing money to finance the regime. The FBI linked several email addresses to Park Jin-hyuk, a key Lazarus figure who also surfaced in the infamous Sony hack and the WannaCry ransomware attacks. The FBI believes Lazarus may have stolen at least $1 billion for North Korea. This bank heist is a jaw-dropping tale, demonstrating just how dangerous and skilled North Korea's hackers have become. Incredibly, a country with almost no digital infrastructure has the power to infiltrate some of the world's biggest banks. Only a strange coincidence saved the Central Bank of Bangladesh from total disaster. It was a wake-up call for cybersecurity everywhere. And Lazarus is still out there. In March 2022, the group hit the Ronin network, the blockchain behind Axie Infinity, a gaming platform, and stole $620 million, setting a new record for crypto theft. Once again, their digital fingerprints were found all over the scene.